Hey, what's up, guys? Back here with another podcast. I wanted to get a quick one in after hearing the Taekwon Lewis news coming to the Indianapolis Colts, man, on a 2-year, $24 million deal. I think it's a great thing for the Indianapolis Colts. It's exactly what Chris Ballard was looking for when trying to bring in a free agent because that's what he thought the biggest need was for the Colts, that pass rush that we've been trying to. He's been trying to draft. He took a hit at Toure. He's got Taekwon Lewis back for his second year, and they just really haven't found a guy since Robert Mathis in 2013 that has really been a dominant presence for you as an as a pass rusher. We'll see what Houston has in the tank. There's been some injuries and some concerns there about him staying on the field for the full season. He certainly hasn't the past couple of years, but he is a force that the Colts don't have. He has really, like, looking at the numbers from him last year. 9 sacks, 12 games played. Year before, 9.5 and 15 games. 2016, he was hurt that year. 4 sacks in 5 games. In 2015, 7.5 and 11, and that is going back to 2015. In 2014, this dude led the NFL in sacks with 22. And yeah, he's kind of regressed a little bit since that season, but a 22 sack season is hard for anybody to sustain. And if he can just hover around the 10 mark for the Colts, that is going to be a huge contributor for them. Making a run at this, and their schedule is without a doubt tougher this year. They're gonna see some playoff teams this year that maybe they didn't see last year. Definitely some winnable games in there, and definitely should win the AFC South. But you gotta look out for this. But Justin Houston, great. I mean, a former third-round pick, coming onto your team. He already has relations with Chris Ballard. Chris Ballard was one of the ones that helped draft him to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been there his entire career. This is his first time being away to another team. And I think he's excited about it. He should have a chip on his shoulder. He says that he's still got some left in the tank. And, the Colts are hoping that that's a lot. And that's certainly what the fans and the coaches and everybody is hoping to see. And I think he's going to bring it. This is a prove it deal. I mean, it's not a 1-year prove it deal, but, Ballard did not commit $60 million for a 5-year deal. That'd be stupid. I'm glad to see what he did. I think that $12 million a year for a talent, a pass rusher, because, in the NFL, coming from college, it is very, very difficult to make the jump. And you see a lot of guys struggle coming from college as pass rushers, coming into the NFL, because it's completely different. The schemes that you see in college are just completely different, and obviously the talent level on the offensive line and the blocking schemes that coaches can come up with, and just the sheer talent. I mean, you look on the offensive line of the Colts; those are some tough guys. But anyway, going back to Houston here, I think it's great. It's what the fans certainly wanted. I think that's for sure. Everybody's been clamoring for a pickup, and yeah, you got Funchess, and everybody's just rolling their eyes at that. Even though I think that's a great pickup, but like getting Houston was huge. You were looking into some guys. Houston's teammate D Ford. Yeah, he's 3 years younger than Houston, but you would have had to get him. You would have had to give away one of your picks and money. So I think really it's a win here to get Justin Houston. Um, you know, yeah, with D Ford, it might be a longer, term um, success. I don't think that Justin Houston will probably be with the Colts after this 2-year deal. I think that they're going to look uh, to get younger talent. They're looking to get younger. They are a young team, but we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's great. He's right at 30 years old. That's older for NFL player, but at the same time, it's not too old. And I think that he's in a great spot right here to come to Indianapolis and really make an imprint. And I hope that he brings the same intensity that he brought for all these years in Kansas City. And if he does, then I think that this is gonna work out just fine. He mentioned in the first video that he did um, about what when he signed here, and just one of the little PR videos that they came out with about him, and he mentioned Robert Mathis and how he knew him already, and he was anxious to get to work with him. I think that is everything what a Colts fan wants to hear right there, because you're just bringing these Ballard is bringing these guys into the locker room, and I've been saying it, and they're just great fits, man. It's just you're not bringing in the Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, oh me, 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 me. No, you're bringing these guys. Justin Houston's not all everywhere. He's a quieter kind of guy, and just I think something that definitely fits into what Ballard is wanting this team to be. I think that he's bringing certainly a veteran into this locker room on the defensive side that you need. I think that he's going to be a big inspiration to these younger pass rushers that we're trying to develop. And I still think that you draft a pass rusher. I probably wouldn't say first round. I'll get into that a little bit, but you still draft a pass rusher, and you use these 2 years to go for it. This is time to go for it. But you're also thinking long term success, bringing in some guys on the back end, training them up, and getting them ready. But right now you have Justin Houston, who is one of the more feared um, uh, linebackers, now defensive end in football. Offensive coordinators are going to have to go out of their way. They're still thinking, wow, this is Justin Houston. We have to get some schemes. Got to bring some double teams on them. Off the edge. Well, then you're bringing free any other of the blitzers that are coming for the Colts. So, look for that. Like I said earlier, look for um, like a look for a connection for Houston to have individual success, but also look for the team to benefit from the attention around Houston's head that, besides Darius Leonard, you really don't have on your defense. I think there's some studs on the defense for sure. I mean, i.e. Kenny Moore, Malik Hooker, Anthony Walker. I mean, these dudes can ball, but I don't think that, those guys are really feared yet. They're just coming into themselves. But I think this is a great move. I'm very happy to see it. And I know that Colts fans are. They've been clamoring for this, and this is it. We've got our big free agent signing, and I'm sure this is going to be our biggest one for sure. So now look for the draft. And be content with what you have, because I think they are. But that brings me to my next point. I was gonna make a podcast about this earlier this week, but been so busy. Jay Ajayi came to visit the Colts, and I just thought that that was very interesting. I never ever once thought that that was going to be a possibility. I've done my research. Looked at potential free agents. I've looked up and down the list and see what could kind of fit. And JJ just, I mean, would never have occurred to me. But now that it's brought up, it makes a little bit more sense to me. Obviously, he was with Frank Reich in Philadelphia the year that they won the Super Bowl. So that's obviously a connection that you have there. But you also have a guy that has proven himself in the NFL. Okay, this guy has played in some big games, had some great stats, certainly in his time with the Dolphins and with Philly. But it brings that assurance that what if Marlon Mack gets hurt? You know, you want Naeem Hines and Wilkins to be your guys. I think that they're great players. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, last year we saw some upside and we saw some downside from both of them. And I think that bringing in Ajayi is just that insurance. The Colts love Marlon Mack. This is not Ajayi is not coming in here and replacing Marlon Mack as number one. No, that's not what's happening. Marlon Mack is the guy, and the Colts are very, very high on him. But this guy, this is can go well. 1-2, with 1-2-3. Maheem Hines, Marlon Mack, Ajayi. He's been proven to be a three down back even. So I think it's interesting. I think it fits what the Colts are kind of looking for. I don't know a whole lot about Ajayi's character. I'm sure that all has to deal with it. But the biggest question for sure surrounding Jay Ajayi, and that's why the Colts brought him in on Wednesday, was his health. And this is a guy that tore his ACL in college, I believe, in his left knee, and last year tears his ACL in his right knee. I believe like week 5 or week 6. So that's not what you want to see. That's really not like the best of all news. But you also look and you see guys like Frank Gore. He's torn both his ACLs, and that dude is a tank. And he's still going. Yeah, he's old, but he's old. JJ is still in his prime, so to speak. So uh, I think that it could definitely be that could definitely be a fit. And if it's meant to be, then Ballard will do it. But I'm recording this as of late Thursday night, or late Thursday night, the 21st, I believe, 21st, and nothing has been said or done about it. So it might be a wash. They might have just brought him in, see how he did. Um, Nothing against Jai. They could just say, we'll move on. But they have their four. They have 4 running backs. We didn't see Williams in any games last year, but they do have him on the roster, and they think highly of him. They promoted him from the practice squad last year, and that means that they saw something, in practice or something that made them believe in what he can do. So, to them, you got four running backs. Probably draft another one in this draft. Definitely, if you don't, pick up a guy like Ajayi, you want to, definitely pick up a running back, probably 4th, 5th round, and probably do that, every other year or so. Even though that we picked up 2 in this past draft, hey, depth is important, and I don't think it would hurt. Well, talking about the draft, what do I think the Colts need to do in the draft now that pass rush has been sort of taken care of, I guess. Well, I don't think you go pass rush first round anymore. I don't. Um, I think that they can go in a couple different directions. I'm going to lay out the possibilities. I think, and see what you guys think. Um, I think that there could be a need at safety. You could bring in a guy, even though you brought back Gathers this week too, and but also the main question around Gathers um, is health. And yeah, you have Matthias Farley back, but how good is he really? And Malik Hooker is your guy, of course. But you could always need another ball hawk and safety. You could take a box safety. Even I think that would fit well. I thought that Landon Collins would have fit well at the Colts. Um, but safety could definitely be one way that they go at it. I think another need that isn't really talked about a whole lot when you hear the draft in the Colts. And I've done a little bit of research um, about this draft class and the corner position. I I like Kenny Moore and I like Pierre Desir, but I don't know about the ones other than them. You know what I mean? And bringing in a guy, that could be a great corner, that could be a nice nickel corner for you, um, as a rookie, learning, as he goes, obviously. Bring in a guy that's not, a 6th round corner, or an undrafted, D2 uh, pickup, so I think that would be important to get kind of a blue chip corner. I mean, that would be great. You're not going to get a Denzel Ward, but I think that you can get somebody good, um, potentially at 1st round. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that, but I think it's a possibility. Um, the other option I think could be wide receiver, and that's something that can definitely be debated because it's they have Inman, they have T.Y. Hilton, they have uh, they I guess they have Inman, if they bring him back, but I just they need another receiver, and it's just a question of what are they going to get at 1st round or not, because they're going to get one in the draft for sure. Um, but it's definitely something to think about, and if you I don't see it. There was this mock draft. I think it came out a week ago, maybe, but it was definitely after the combine, and it had the Colts selecting Metcalf from Metcalf, the guy that killed the combine with his freakish athleticism, and I mean, I'd take that. Yeah, I would definitely, if he fell all the way to 26, your pick. Oh, you pick up Metcalf, because that dude is. I think he's going to be a star. I really do. I think he has definite potential. I don't think he's going to, slip all the way down. I think somebody's, going to look at the combine footage and say, well, shit. Let's throw him in. Um, it'll work out. But another guy, Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle from Clemson, that was another one. So defensive tackle could be another one. You throw in there. Um, Outside of those positions, so that's safety, corner, wide receiver, defensive tackle. I think those are your biggest needs. So when I'm thinking first round draft pick, those are the positions I would think are gonna, Ballard is gonna pick. I don't know who, I'm not an NFL scout. I don't know the ins and outs of every single one of these college players. So I couldn't give you a full analysis, like somebody else could, I guess, or really more their opinion, because who the hell knows what these GMs are going to do. But it is an exciting time to be a Colts fan. I'm definitely excited for this season. I'm excited to keep going into free agency to see what's going on around the league. I think the Browns right now are making some pretty damn good moves. Bringing in Odell, that's just unbelievable, man. Him with Baker Mayfield. I hate that they're in the AFC. You know what I'm saying? Because that team, I'm not crowning them anything yet. People are like, oh, the Browns are the new favorites of the AFC. Well, no, I'm not saying that. I think they'll win their division, but I don't think that I don't think they're better than the Colts. And I think the Colts are definitely top of the AFC. But the Browns, that's a fun story, man. To see, um, uh, one of my favorite college quarterbacks come in, Baker Mayfield, and get on the Browns that were terrible. And I hated when he got drafted there, because I was like, oh no, his career is going to be terrible. But he's Baker Mayfield, and he's been doing all right. but that's pretty cool. I just like seeing stuff. Other than the Colts too. I'm all Colts though. I'm all Colts all the time. And so is this podcast. So if you guys like this, let me know. Also let me know if they should be longer, shorter. Feedback is helpful. I'm hoping to get these cranked out to see if I can't get more people to see them. Let your friends know if anyone's looking for a Colts podcast. I really appreciate it. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll be back probably early next week if anything doesn't pop up, to keep talking Colts and free agency. Thanks for listening, guys.